I continued to joust with these doomers on and off, and I was impressed. One thing I've noticed lately is that these guys are saying that they have a 50% likelihood of the world ending from rogue AGI in the next 10 years. And I'm just imagining myself, if I thought there was a 50% likelihood of doom in the next 10 years, I would be very, very interested to find out if I was wrong or not. Basically, I think these guys are full of shit when they say this, because if you're going to live your life in fear of apocalypse or annihilation at a roughly 50% chance of it for a decade, I mean, that's really, really glum. If you got a prognosis, if you had a disease and your prognosis was 50% mortality in 10 years, that would be just devastating news. And you'd want to investigate that, find out if this diagnosis is accurate, get a second opinion, right? You'd want to explore all sorts of alternative explanations for this. And it's not just to avoid death, it's to avoid living, the depressing, the really limited quality of life. If I thought that I had such a truncated future, I would really drop a lot of long-term plans, and I would focus much more on the here and now. And what a disaster if that turns out to be wrong. So if I'm taking to Twitter to sound the alarm, and there are people on Twitter who are giving level-headed counter arguments, I would not be snide and dismissive at all. I'd be very thankful that these people are doing some of my research for me. This guy, Jim Miller, isn't snarky or snide about it. He is pretty cavalier, but that's about it. Anyway, I think being an AI doomer is essentially holding a luxury belief. And I don't know too much about luxury beliefs, but I think the idea is that to hold the belief imposes a cost on the belief holders, but the cost is compensated for by the status that you signal with the belief. So the classic example is all of this white supremacy stuff that, rich white suburban kids are major defenders of all this white supremacy things. So they kind of impose on themselves this implied racism, and then they use that to signal their virtue to others. I think a similar process is going on with the AI doomership. So by believing in the doom scenario, my life is a bit worse. My prospects are limited. I'm kind of burdened with this knowledge about the end of the world, but I also get to showcase to others how how smart and knowledgeable I am.
A lot of these beliefs are just religious beliefs, but with new window dressing. So I wonder if there truly is a religious instinct that has been forced through evolutionary pressures, i.e., atheists didn't make it because they were bad at adopting rules for survival and rules for cooperation in ancient societies. So the religion instinct is very strong in people. And of course, the meaning drive. People want meaning in their lives, and religion also provides that. So now if you've done away with religion and you're a stark atheist, you kind of have to create your own new religion, whether it's around wokeism or climate change or AGI doomerism. All of these taken to the extreme have messianic properties to them. And so I wonder if it's just the religious instinct reasserting itself. I think Max Weber had something to say about this. A number of these people who are waiting for AGI are saying that they're not having children. So there is a definite cost that they're inflicting upon themselves, or perhaps just a major behavioral change that they're making in response. I don't know how you can assign a probability to such an unknowable event, because it does involve knowledge creation in many directions. And so just assigning any kind of a probability to it is disingenuous.
Yeah, messianic and also millenarian is one of my favorite concepts. Millenarian means that there's a turning point coming and you could see it. So you're kind of a prophet for a new age, a new dawn, a new paradigm. So it's a big Kurzweil thing. It's also obviously in a lot of religious texts, and it's definitely this AGI thing. I can see the new dawn coming, and I am important because I'm warning you about how to adapt to it ahead of time or how to prevent it. The trouble with these critiques is that they're going to be completely uninteresting to the doomers. And so I keep on trying to think of critiques that would be interesting to them. And I think this malleability of their argument might be interesting from a Bayesian perspective. I try to get at that here. Superintelligence has the most number of doom scenarios. And I guess the Bayesians would say, since there's the most number of doom scenarios in this realm, then doom is most likely. But of course, you also have the most number of optimistic savior scenarios where superintelligence saves us, or just benign scenarios. So I think that kind of negates itself.